The Accidental Entrepreneur is brought to you with the help of our sponsor, AWeber, the world's leading small business email marketing and automation service provider. Since 1998, AWeber has helped more than 1 million small businesses and entrepreneurs through its suite of web-based email marketing, automation tools, and education. AWeber, the best option when it comes to marketing your business. The podcast is also brought to you by the Alternative Board. Since 1989, the Alternative Board, or TAB, has been one of the leading peer advisory and business coaching organizations for independent business owners and CEOs across the world. By facilitating peer advisory boards, private one-on-one coaching, and strategic planning services, TAB helps business owners improve their businesses in ways that change their lives. And be sure to connect with our affiliate sponsor, GSM Growth Agency. They're boosting e-commerce businesses to 6 and 7 figures in revenue and cover everything from ads and social media influencers to making your website better. GSM Growth Agency focuses on taking businesses from startup success to bigger success, going above and beyond to make sure growth sticks around. They're all about cool ideas, lasting partnerships, and making your mark in the e-commerce world. And be sure to support the podcast by ordering some logo merchandise from our online store. Listen to all of our sponsors' commercials later in this episode and follow their links in the show notes to learn more about their products and services. Somebody told me I should be posting like 2 or 3 times a day. I'm like, I don't post 2 or 3 times a week. Are you kidding me? I got to work for a living.
Because showing up as a business owner on social media is very different than showing up as an influencer or a content creator. And I understand that we're basically our own little media conglomerates now online. You know, you have to do blogs and you have to do video and you have to do written. I mean, like all the different things. Yeah. But
so overwhelming.
You don't need to be online so much. And when you show up with intention and you're building out your community, you don't need to post so much, because the people that are interested in your content and interested in you and what you do, they are going to see your post, they're going to engage with it, and they're going to talk about you in a room when you're not there.
Okay, welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm excited to bring Katie on in a few minutes. Another great guest. We'll talk about how we connected. I have no idea. I can't remember these days. I'm sure she can't either. And another great show, because I'm excited. We've done this before in the past, but it's really important for business owners. We're going to be talking about social media and how you can use social media for your business and all the mistakes people make. We'll also hear Katie's story. So if you are listening on your favorite podcast directory, please leave us a 5-star review. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, share, like us, whatever you can do, so we can keep bringing great guests to the show like we have Katie here today. So let's get on with today's show.
The information provided in these episodes is for entertainment purposes only. It is not a guarantee of success or to be construed as advice of any kind. You should always seek advice from local licensed professionals before making any decisions.
The dictionary defines an entrepreneur as a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. People often start a business without much choice, perhaps due to a job loss or just being dissatisfied at work, and they come up with an idea they just know can be successful. They become entrepreneurs by accident. That is to say, their success or failure happens by accident, not with intention. My name is Mitch Beinhacker. I'm a corporate attorney and a business advisor. You're listening to The Accidental Entrepreneur, my podcast about how to achieve success on purpose, not by accident. Join me along with our monthly guests, where we share our knowledge and help you get a hold of your business. And now on to today's episode.
Hi, I'm Katie Brinkley, social media strategist, author, and speaker, and I can't wait to be on the show today.
All right, Katie. So thanks so much for joining me today. So you have your little coffee ready. I have my Stanley with me today. I've been having a little bout with kidney stones lately. Like 10 years ago, I had really bad kidney stones. Lately, it's been a little rumbly. So hopefully by the time this comes out, it will be all past me. But doctor said drink a lot. So whatever. You might see during the show. But thanks for joining me. I know it's like, what, 10:30 here?
Earlier.
10:45.
It's 8:45. I'm in the forgotten time zone of Mountain Time. So
2 hours. Yeah, Mountain Time.
It's different than Central.
Is that Central, or is
it's a very narrow spot of the United States that's in Mountain Time, and there is. Well, actually, if you consider Hawaii, then 5, and then if you consider Alaska, then there's 6. But
another time. Well, that would be very nice, including all those people. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you joining me early in the morning in Denver. So, okay. So I was saying off the mic, why don't we spend the first half of the show before we go to commercial, like talking about you and your background in business and corporate and things like that. And then we're going to talk about social media, which is really important for business owners, and they're all doing it wrong, right? We know that, or they think they're doing it right, or
Mark
changes,
Zuckerberg
or
just
whatever.
Keeps me, keeps me, employed. So it's great, all the changes that they
toes.
make.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah,
all right. So then, why don't we start with you and your background first?
I have been a social media junkie since it first came out. I love social media and the way that connections can happen. But being a social media, anything didn't exist. So we were talking about.
Right. So when would you say social media started? Like, obviously, Facebook wasn't the first thing. So what was like the first social media platform?
So I started my
anymore, but where did it start?
Social media journey with MySpace. I started by helping bands with their MySpace pages because, like I said, being a social media, anything didn't exist back when I was going to college. And I wanted to be a radio, journalist. Yeah, radio journalist. Yeah. And
like
radio, I love
today,
audio. I love
exactly
storytelling, and I wanted to be a sports journalist. And so I went to school, again, being a social media, anything didn't exist. I worked at the college radio station. I did everything I possibly could for radio. And when I worked at the radio station, one of my duties was to get bands to send us their music for free. And get this, we were writing handwritten letters and putting them in the mail. Yeah, really. This is how.
Really? Do they even pick up mail anymore?
So I went to Fort Lewis College in Durango. I played collegiate softball as well. It's a Division II school in the Four Corners region.
Got it.
Yep, KDUR.
And they had their own college radio station.
And it was a great experience.
Very nice.
But working at the college radio station, writing these handwritten letters, I was like, this is kind of a giant time suck. What if I just went on MySpace, found,
you think?
Because I could listen to their music and kind of see what they were doing, and if I was interested in hearing more, and I was like, well, I'll just go on MySpace, listen to some music, and reach out to the bands.
So basically, the management and other marketing people at the radio station were maybe old or whatever. And they had no clue. This was the
first iteration of the internet. Facebook was still the Facebook. Yeah. And, I'm a geriatric millennial, which it isn't the official term for what my age group is, but it means we grew up alongside of all this. So I remember doing DOS commands and playing Lemmings. Right. Yeah. And, I'm so fortunate that social media wasn't around when I was in high school. It came out like towards the end of my college career. So I didn't have the pressures of social media that so many of our kids today have. Oh my
God.
It is
ridiculous. Their whole life.
And so I started helping bands with their MySpace pages, getting them on the radio. And, for a girl, it was, in her early 20s, it was amazing because I was like, you don't need to pay me anything for getting your band on the radio. Why don't you just give me some free concert tickets? And so I got to go backstage at all sorts of concerts in Denver, California. I was living the dream. And I'm so fortunate that I was able to land my dream job right out of college. I worked for the sports station here in Denver, 850 KOA, and I was the post-game reporter for the Broncos, Rockies, Avalanche, and Nuggets. Yeah, and I loved it. It was a great job. Again, woman in her 20s. And then this thing called SiriusXM came out, and everyone in the radio industry panicked. And so a lot of people moved into television, and I decided to move into marketing. And I then was the marketing manager for the Rockies TV station. So I handled their script writing, media buys, and their social media. And because
got it. So
it really wasn't, social media wasn't, I guess, considered, a full-time job.
It's very in the agency. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like 14 places you could post, right? Exactly. Now, Katie, nowadays, I know there's like digital marketing, majors in college. And are there schools that have social media
and
marketing as a
kind
major?
of rolled
They do
into
now,
this
huh?
entire of
Yeah.
copywriting, graphic design, video editing, and marketing. So it's because there is so much to do with social media. It's not,
Got it.
yes, like, and it's one of the biggest misconceptions of like, oh, well, my nephew's going to handle the company's social media for us. And it's like, well, and it is true. Anybody can post to social media, but if you want to actually use it to grow your business and grow your brand, there is a strategy behind it. And somebody that's, in their, teens or whatever is not going to know the strategy for growth.
Yeah. No, they're going to learn on you. It's going to take them another 15 years to learn. That's what was happening with you. There wasn't, right? It didn't exist. So you were kind of growing up with the industry and learning as you went. And I'm sure the algorithms were a lot easier then than they are now because they just, the relevancy of your post changed like by the minute. Mm-hmm. It's just like you don't even know. It's frustrating, I think, for business owners because they think they're posting stuff that's doing things for them. Then they hear all this misinformation. I know we're going to get into this later in the show, but I don't think anybody knows, like, how much should I post? What should I post? Should it be video? Should it be audio? Should it be words? Should it be all three? Which platforms are the best for me? I'm sure that depends on what you do and who you are and all that kind of stuff. But I'm jumping ahead. So you worked for
and then
the
I was
Rockies
laid off
for a while.
And it was the best thing that happened to me, though. And it wasn't even the Rockies. So the parent company, it was AT&T. And unfortunately, I was just a number. And so they owned the television station.
AT&T owns the Rockies?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay. I thought you were working for the Rockies.
The Rockies TV station was outsourced. It actually got, anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But so they owned the station. We covered the Rockies. We covered the Utah Jazz, the Mountain West football and basketball conference. But I mean, our office was literally right next to the Rockies. They were our big sell. I mean, because we handled basically the Mountain Time Zone. So anyone in the Mountain Time Zone got our station. Yeah.
Right. It was you guys. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
At the time, I didn't think it was a good thing. But I went into, I remember sitting in my boss's office and I was like, gosh, Jen, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And she's like, yeah. She's like, well, honestly, Katie, I would love it if you found something where social media was all that you did. And, it's funny because she and I still talk and she says now, she's like, Katie, I think you give me way too much credit for that sentence. And I was like, but I don't, because it was something that I looked up to you. I'm so lucky that she was my manager. But I looked up to her and her saying that she thought that social media was my superpower and that the stuff that I was doing for the station's social was really good enough for it to be all that I did. It gave me the confidence to go out and just see what I could do. And I got my first client and then I got another client and soon I was, yeah. And
so it was out on your own, basically?
I went on Upwork.
Your first client, what did you do?
Yeah. And this is where I think that you'll find a lot of good people on these, on Upwork, on Fiverr that are still trying to kind of find their way and what they want to do. And for me, I was just going to be an in-between thing until I found like a corporate social media job because I never pictured being an entrepreneur ever. And like hindsight, of course, I was meant to be an entrepreneur. Like I look back, at 15, I was trying to find job places that would hire me and nobody would hire me because I was only 15. So I started my own, window screening business. And I mean, like I was always trying, like even the social media with bands, nobody at the station told me to do that, but I saw a problem and I was like, okay, well, what's the best way that I could solve this problem of getting new music in and that, help me in the process. And so I think that looking back, I was always meant to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Social media wasn't ready for me to have a social media agency when I got out of college. And everything that I learned along the way set me up for what I'm doing now.
Yeah. No, I think we're then maybe more so than now. We were socialized to like just go through high school, go through college, get a job. And even look, I did the same thing. In my teens, I always had I was detailing cars, I was stringing rackets, I was making fishing rods, I was all kinds of different stuff. But it never occurred to me to start a business after high school or college. I was like, well, why would I do that? I could go get a job, and I went to law school and so forth. But yeah, looking back, and now unfortunately, everyone's an entrepreneur now. There's probably more people that shouldn't be, but the world has changed a bit. But I think you're right, and some people stumble into it and say, "Well, this is definitely for me. Like, I don't need to work for anybody. I want to have control of my life. I want to produce really good content and enjoy yourself." But I guess in those days, there wasn't a lot of there wasn't as many platforms as there are today, right? So, yeah. So let's start with your first client or two, right? Had they posted things? So you put up your profile on, if I remember, Upwork, right?
No, so the way Upwork works, you can put your profile out there, but I was actively applying to gigs. Yeah, I was looking for work.
You were looking for.
Then you can say like, okay, well, this is what I can do. I really like to work with you. And, it was
But it couldn't have been the people who were posting for a social media expert.
No, it was social media, but
wasn't it a broader?
Yeah, and
like we're looking for a marketing.
Yeah, it was just social media help, and like my first client was a clothing truck. So like a food truck.
Yeah, what did they do?
A mobile store. Yeah, so they would go and drive around Chicago and sell their. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Custom stuff, and haberdashery type of stuff.
Yeah. She just wanted
There's a few of them around
to showcase the different clothing that she had. She wanted to showcase where the truck was located, and we started out doing that. And by the time our contract ended, she had 2 brick and mortar stores. And it was in addition to the truck, and it was really cool.
Yep. Yeah, because the truck becomes like a pop-up store, right? Oh, and you want to post it somewhere to say, here we are today. We're baking cookies and we're on this street corner.
I think that getting her gave me the confidence, like, okay, well, people do just want social media help. And then, like I said, I got my next client, and she's still a client. She's been with me for 7 years now. And it's, both of our businesses have grown together. And so it's been really cool to see kind of it come from idea to this I don't need to be on Upwork. I can most of my traffic now comes from, I do a lot of speaking. I have my book, I have my podcast. So, I mean, like all of it comes from that sort of a lead gen and referral traffic. And I'm not on those platforms anymore. So.
Right. So from what you're saying, it sounds like you're not a solopreneur just doing it as a consultant and helping people. You have a team of people now that work for you. Are they mostly virtual? So you don't need to keep an office?
I'm in an office. I come to work every day, because if I work from home, over the Christmas holidays, I have 2 young girls, they're 6 and 9. And so I work from home when they're home from school, just to have another adult in the house. But I mean, I'll work my regular hours, but I also get stopped to make lunches. I'm doing laundry. I'm unloading the dishwasher. So really, I'm working a reduced schedule, and I'm not nearly as productive. But if I come in here to my office, I'm way more productive. Yeah. I have one team member that comes into the office to work. And then I have another team member that's in Kansas City, another team member that's in Dallas. And then I have, lastly, the rest of my team is located in the Philippines.
Got it. And you got them through
I found Racy, who we were talking about earlier. She's my assistant. She's my right-hand gal. She's been with me for 4 years now, and she was my first hire. That was probably the best decision I made for my business, was hiring her, because
right. Good advice.
It is. And definitely I didn't know where to start. I was like, I don't know if I can afford this, but I didn't realize how much of my time was being taken up by I don't want to say mundane tasks because every task is important, but no, like we were talking about the book cover for this episode, and all I had to do was say, Racy, will you please add the book cover to the media kit for Mitch? And now I know it's going to be done, and I don't have to do it. Yeah, and it took me that long to get out there. So hiring Racy was one of the best things I did for my business. She's still with me. She's definitely grown in her role. Now she's a podcast editor and manager for us because we do podcast services as well as social media.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, for your clients now. Right. Yeah. Right. So you really have built kind of a digital agency now.
So like I have a copywriter. Media, right? She's a former advertising writer for Stars Network. My two brand account managers are here in the US, and then I have my video editor and a graphic designer. And
a lot of these people have their own little businesses, so your graphic designer's not working necessarily full-time for you. She's got other clients,
my assistant is full-time for me. Nikki is full-time for me. She's my copywriter. My two brand account managers, they're both part-time. One works at a hospital, and another one, she teaches photographers how to start their business. No.
But they're not doing brand management for other agencies. Just
my video editor and my graphic designer. The graphic designer she works for me, and then for one of my clients doing other graphic design stuff because they do a ton of like lead magnets and we need to have this done. So she's got enough work between the two of us.
Got it. Right. Yeah, I think you represent the new age company. Right. I mean, obviously, some industries it's harder, right? Obviously, your client that has the brick and mortar stores couldn't have a virtual company because people have to come to work and sell things, stuff like that. But I think a lot of businesses lend themselves to, virtual work and probably don't need either an office or as big of an office as they have. I'm now in a co-working space. I really don't have employees. I have people I can plug in. And one of my goals in 2024 is to add an executive assistant.
And
she's going to be virtual, So
I think one of the best things to come out of COVID was the understanding that people quality of life is extremely important. And a lot of people don't want to sit in their car to drive to an office to get work done. My husband is one of those people. Like he loves he starts work at 5 a.m. and he can now because he doesn't have to shower and get ready and then drive an hour into the office. And I mean, he's there, and then he for his lunch break, he can go down to the basement, work out, shower. And then, he's done with his day at 3 and he doesn't have to worry about sitting in the car going back and forth. And
Right. Yeah. I think you're right. We didn't even it wasn't just the commute. You have to also all the preparation to get ready to go to work and shave and put on your nice clothes and makeup and all that kind of stuff. And you don't have to do so much of it anymore. And I think we're more, I think we actually work more than we used to if you think about it, right? So you say your husband starts at 5 and he does things, finishes up at 3, probably 3, 4 o'clock, depending on, that could be like a 12-hour day. But you're in your own space and you're doing your own thing and you go to the gym and, all that type of stuff. So I think the world has definitely changed. My son is in tech. He is all virtual. He's got no office.
Yeah.
Some days he's in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Working on his laptop. None of the people put the cameras on. You could basically be in your underwear if you wanted to, because nobody's seeing you. And unless he goes to a client, because they do a lot of, what do? They do supply chain warehouse management systems, right? So if they go to launch something, he'll go there to Bentonville, Arkansas or whatever.
Yeah.
But not when he's home. He just sits and, goes to another room and eats his lunch and whatever. And it's a different – I think that's one of the things – I'm curious of your opinion about this. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I worry about this next generation is that they didn't have the socialization to go to an office and to grab lunch and to meet people and, hey, let's meet for drinks after work. They're like sitting in their underwear doing their work and they're not like growing up.
No, I think that you have a point.
So it really worries me. I don't know if I'm right.
And this is where – I think that it's kind of twofold. When I worked in corporate, I didn't understand networking. I was like, why would you want to go and talk about work after work? That sounds terrible. Like I don't want to network. Gross.
Yeah,
but now
go home.
I go to, there's conferences that I go to every year because I know I'll see certain people there. There's, people here where we make, hey, I'm meeting one next week and she and I live in Denver, but we only see each other at conferences. And we're making, but we know that we can help each other. So we're setting aside the time. This is why I love a co-working space. There's another marketing agency over there, but they don't do social media or podcasting. And yeah, but it's great to go and like
lawyers here,
they got a new decal for their door. And I was like, I really like that decal. And they're like, oh, here, let me just refer this person for you instead of me having to go and search on the internet. I think this is where there's going to be a lot of people that enjoy remote work, but I think the co-working spaces are going to be very necessary because
they'll be very popular.
Yeah.
Ours is filled up since COVID. Yeah. I think hybrid is really where you got to be, right? You got to be in an office part of the time, got to be out, because I think even if you're younger, you don't really understand networking. Mm-hmm. So you got to get out, you got to go on a meetup, you got to find groups, you got to get out there. And I just hope that there's enough of us to remind these kids that you can't sit in your underwear.
This is the thing too, Mitch. I've made incredible connections on social media through networking. And during COVID, that's when I really learned the power of growing your community and growing your business online when you go in with intention. And I've made incredible business partners and incredible friends that honestly I've never met in real life.
Never physically. I went to an event, Katie, at some point, I don't know, during 2023, 2022. And I met people at the event. I realized when I saw them that I'd never seen them in person since I met them, because during pandemic, it was Zoom. I was going to meetings. I was doing one-on-ones, but it was all virtual, because I was like, I'm not going to die during COVID and nobody forget about me, think I didn't exist, So you had to become relevant. But that was a different time. But definitely you can network very effectively online, especially if you have the kind of business. Like, I can't do business all over the country. A little bit. I can do some federal tax planning, but most of it is, because I'm a lawyer, I'm stuck in a jurisdiction. If you called me and said, Mitch, I need some business help in Colorado, I'd have to find you a lawyer. I couldn't do the work, for you. But so it's a little unique in terms of, but if you, a lot of professions also, can do business anywhere.
If you're networking and you're making those connections the right way, you could meet a lawyer in Colorado and say, hey, actually, I know someone, let me refer business. And he might give you a referral, fee, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm in some Zoom networking groups, never met people in person. They're attorneys all over the country. Yep. We refer business back and forth because they got stuff in New York, New Jersey. I got stuff down in, let's say, Florida, Illinois, Chicago, whatever. Absolutely. Networking. I think that's the most important part of becoming successful, is building a really good network that includes an email list, keep in touch type of program, that type of stuff. But we're getting a little bit off the topic. So let's get into, why don't we do this, since we've been going back and forth? Let's take a little bit of a break. I'll play the commercials for the people that pay me a little bit of money. And then we'll come back and we'll start talking about social media, how it's developed, what we're looking at today, all the tips and tricks and things that everyone's doing wrong, I'm sure. Does that make sense?
Here's a word from our sponsors.
Looking to market and grow your business? Or perhaps you're just getting started and want to hit the ground running? AWeber is the best choice for online email marketing and automation of your business. From maintaining a subscriber list to drip campaigns and landing pages, AWeber gives you tools and integrations that make marketing easy and fun. As our partner and sponsor, we use all their tools to promote the podcast and market our law firm. AWeber, the best alternative for online marketing. For over 30 years, the Alternative Board, or TAB, has built a thriving community of forward-thinking CEOs and business owners who want to radically improve their companies. Through unique combinations of one-on-one business coaching, participation in monthly TAB board meetings with other non-competing owners, a suite of strategic tools, and customized strategic planning workshops, TAB membership can deliver greater strength to your business and a better work-life balance for you and your family. All packaged in a streamlined and affordable service that the people at TAB invite you to try risk-free. Are you struggling with managing advertising due to a lack of time or expertise? Perhaps you're facing challenges in scaling ads for your store. Are you feeling lost when strategies have no success? GSM Growth Agency is your reliable partner in overcoming these business challenges. Feel the impact of collaborating with a team dedicated not only to short-term goals, but also to building long-term partnerships and achieving sustained success. Embark on an exciting journey to redefine the possibilities of e-commerce and create a legacy of unparalleled excellence. Take decisive action now. Follow their link in the show notes to receive a complimentary audit of your Shopify store conducted by a GSM expert. Propel your e-commerce game to new heights with GSM Growth Agency.
Follow the link in the show notes to learn more about all of our sponsors. And now back to our show.
All right, we are back. Okay, we were saying, so let's get into the good stuff in the, not that your story isn't the good stuff, about social media, what you're doing and your book, all that type of stuff. And maybe we can start with, what does the playing field look like now?
I think that a lot of people are stressed out by it. Like we were talking about earlier, it's, you have to do all the things. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Well, if you're not seeing results, it's your fault because you're not posting enough. You're not doing this. And I think that's where people are discouraged. But the reason I wrote the book, The Social Shift, was because I think that we need to shift our thinking and the way that we're showing up online, shift the way that we're connecting with people. We've gone right now. Social media is no different than turning on the television. We're opening up TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and we're consuming. We're not connecting. And this actually goes right back to what we were talking about before with if you show up online and you're connecting with people, you're building your community, you don't need to post so much. You don't need to be online all the time. What?
Somebody told me I should be posting like 2 or 3 times a day. I'm like, I don't post 2 or 3 times a week. Are you kidding me? I got to work for a living.
Because showing up as a business owner on social media is very different than showing up as an influencer or a content creator. And I understand that we're basically our own little media conglomerates now online. You have to do blogs and you have to do video and you have to do written. I mean, all the different things. Yeah. But
so overwhelming.
You don't need to be online so much. And when you show up with intention and you're building out your community, you don't need to post so much because the people that are interested in your content and interested in you and what you do, they are going to see your post, they're going to engage with it, and they're going to talk about you in a room when you're not there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what you want them to talk about
and
when
like
you're
I said,
not there, right? You want to be top of mind.
I think that as business owners, and it's a very different strategy how you show up on social media than the way that is that you're showing up if you're if you're trying to get brand deals and I honestly should talk about Inca's shoes every day because they are literally all that I wear. I have 4 pairs of their sneakers, 2 pairs of their booties. I love Inca shoes. But this is probably the first time I've ever said I wear Inca shoes every day. No, they don't pay me. I just love their shoes.
Do they pay you to wear
But I mean,
shoes?
if I wanted them as a partner or for my brand deals or anything like that, I'd be talking about them every time and showing pictures of my shoes, But I'm not, because I'm a business owner and I'm not looking for a shoe deal. I'm looking for people that want to be. I'm looking for CEOs that want to become thought leaders and disruptors in their industry. That's who I'm looking for. And Inca Shoes, I love your product, but you're not my ideal client.
Ideal client profile, right? Exactly. Well, I think that's one of the problems, right? Is that people don't know. They need to get their not the message. They need to get it clear who they are doing business with and who they want to do business with. You might be doing business with a lot of people you don't really want to do business with. You're stuck in a marketplace that you don't want to do. And I think with intention, you can make that shift and get to the right people. What are the things that you see that a lot of people are doing wrong? Is it their, maybe how they're posting? Is it their messaging? Is it where they're posting?
So
what kind of things do you see that people do
a black sheep when it comes to social media. I understand that I have a social media agency, so I probably am one of the few people to say this, but you don't need to be on social media so much. You don't need to post so much. We implement the 4-post strategy for me and for all of our clients, and it's a formula that I developed that takes people through the customer journey. They enjoy seeing your content. They want to be there. They want to encourage you and support you. And then when you ask them to buy, they're ready to buy. So it's a strategy where you can focus on growing your business while still being present on social media, showing up the right way. And I think that with social media, I'm also going to tell you that you don't need to be on all the platforms. Up until 2023,
Right.
I was only on LinkedIn and Instagram. And I have a social media agency because those were the platforms that I enjoyed being on and my ideal client was on. In 2023, exactly. And
Facebook,
in 2023, I then
Twitter.
incorporated Facebook as well. It's because my team grew. I had the time and the capacity to focus on growing my audience over on Facebook. And this is where, again, you can't just copy and paste. I know it is so easy. All you got to do is just tag a toggle on a social media scheduling app or on Instagram. You can, cross post.
Right.
But that, just because it's there doesn't mean you should do it. And there's different ways of showing up on each platform, different ways that the platform wants you to create content, and different ways that people consume your content. For me, I'm not a short form video gal. Do I make short form videos? Yes, I just did one yesterday. But I mean, I know a lot of people like those, but for me, I'll see your post from 3 days ago that's a carousel post versus your, Instagram reel that you just posted, because my algorithm is built to say like, oh, here comes Katie Brinkley. She really likes Mitch's post. Let's show her a post. But to make sure she stays on our app, let's show her that carousel post first, because we know she'll spend more time reading and engaging with this post than if we show her his reel. So
now, what's the difference between a carousel post?
Yeah, so a reel is
and
the short form video kind of TikTok knockoff, and the carousel post is in the feed. So you can have up to 10 slides, and you just swipe through the slides. It's a carousel. Yes.
Got it. So multiple photos. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to.
Well, I have a book that takes you through all the different ways. So
social media. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Watching, they can see the book.
It is. The book's on Amazon, audiobook only is on Amazon. If you want to get the physical book, it is available at katiebrinkley.com/book. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
This is
my book's on Amazon.
Total sidebar, but I wanted to focus on the main reason I wanted to sell directly to my clients and customer people that buy it is so that I can see everyone that's buying. I have their email. I know who they are. I can reach out to them. As opposed to Amazon, they're literally just a number. Makes sense. And they
don't tell you.
So I like to see they
don't share that data.
Who's buying and supporting, and it's designed to help people grow their presence. If it becomes a bestseller, that's amazing. It is, published through a publisher, but I wanted to have it be standalone on my website.
So did you read I know it's off the topic. Did you read the audiobook?
No, I did not. It was something that my publisher put together for me. So I know. Yeah, I know.
Took care of. So they hired like Julia Roberts or Halle Berry to read it or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my dreams and hopes. So then let's talk about, if I'm a small business owner, how do I start, building a strategy, right? Because sure, I can open up a LinkedIn account. I could set up a Facebook, and maybe I have some of these things. And look, there are some local businesses like restaurants. They only have a Facebook page. They don't even have a website, which gets a little confusing in my mind. But that's what people are doing. So what do I do? Like, what's my strategy? in terms of starting if I have no clue?
Well, my first question for you would be, what platforms do you enjoy being on? What platforms do you? So right now, if you got like 10 minutes after we're done recording this podcast, what are you? What social media app are you opening up?
Usually LinkedIn, because I'm a business lawyer, and although I do other things, I generally do it with business owners. So I want to connect with business owners and family-owned businesses and things like that. So I do get referrals and stuff through Facebook. I get recommended and stuff like that, but it's not usually the clients that I'm looking to hunt down. It's, it's a will locally, or, real estate closing or something like that on a mom's group, So that's usually where I'm at. But I am posting. I mean, somehow I have these systems where the podcast comes out and it goes up on Facebook and Instagram and I guess Twitter. I don't know what.
Well, and this is the thing. I think that
YouTube and all that type of stuff.
Which is, it's great that's an option. But the key for success in social media, and this is, if you don't listen to any other part of this episode, just stop what you're doing. This is it.
This is it.
Pull the car over.
Pull the car over. Get a pen and paper.
Engagement.
Right.
Is the networking. No, not even that.
Yeah, if nobody's engaging with
not
you,
even that.
I mean, that nobody's going down.
So for me, the month of March was a really rough month. March of 2023 was a tough month for me. I was burnt out, and I was still creating my podcast, but I mean, I just was burnt out on content creation for social media, which is hard when you have a social media agency. So for the month of March, I did 3 posts. That's it for the whole month. So me,
personally, for
the
you,
clients,
for your
of course,
business,
they're taken well taken care of. But for me, in my business, I only did 3 posts, and I normally do 4 a week. It was our best sales month ever. We got 3 new clients, and all of my social media accounts grew in followers. I didn't have a viral video. I didn't have.
So you think that was attributable?
It was
to
the fact that
you posted,
even though I wasn't showing up and creating content, I was showing up and connecting with my ideal clients and customers, and I had the content already on my account that was providing them value. And it's already there.
So if they connected
it's just
with
like
you,
going to my website. They can learn more about me. They can see that I make weird faces and videos, or whatever it is that's going to draw them to me. But I wasn't showing up and spamming their DMs.
Yeah.
All I was doing was engaging on my ideal clients and my power partner posts. And I'm just hitting like and commenting back to whatever they wrote. And that is the secret. It goes back to networking that we were talking about earlier. A lot of people are forgetting this really important step. They think, okay, well, I published it and I'm done. But if you only have 10 minutes a day, you're going to have way more success spending 10 minutes engaging with your audience than you'll be able to do a whole lot more than it would take you to create the video and write the caption and do all the things. The outbound engagement is key. And that's what builds your community. That's what's going to build out your biggest fans, because they're going to be like, oh, I love it. This Katie Brinkley person, whenever I post, she's commenting on it. I want to make sure that I'm there for her. Or, oh, Katie has a new book that came out. I wonder if she talks about this in her book. Whatever, you're putting yourself out there, and you're remaining top of mind for the people that matter most.
Yeah. So we're talking about, creating value, right, and connecting with the right people. So you alluded to commenting on posts. So is that the best way for me to? Yeah. Like if I'm on social,
that's why I asked what your favorite account was.
Account, right?
You said LinkedIn. Okay.
I didn't just start.
If you have 10 minutes every day, I'm not talking about creating the content. then that's where you're going to
do it on LinkedIn.
Put your efforts in there. And then as time allows, as you grow your team, as you get that executive assistant, then you can add in Facebook, because you said that was your second best platform. And then if you want to incorporate a YouTube strategy, you can roll that in. All of these platforms have different ways of showing up and connecting. But if you're only showing up to push out content and to publish content, I'm sorry, but you're only going to be white noise. You have to have some, it's basically like you going to a networking event. Yes.
You got to be commenting and sharing.
Just publishing content and not actually engaging and doing the outbound engagement. It's like going to a networking event and just going like this and throwing all your business cards out into the air, hoping that someone, and turning around and leaving, and hoping someone picks it up and says, I'm going to give this guy a call.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, as opposed to shaking their hand and meeting them and, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about your business. And yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's why I like LinkedIn, because you connect with people. And when you connect with them, you connect with other circles, and then people see you and you see them. And I say, you know what? I see you're connected with Katie, and I'm looking to do this and that. And I love Katie, and I trust her and everything. And you're connected with her. Of course, every once in a while I get like, you reach out to me and go, Mitch, I was looking to connect with this guy, Jonathan. I see you're connected with him. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. Like, I am connected with a lot of people. It's hard to keep up. So that makes sense. So you should not only just be putting out good content, but you should be supporting other people. Let's call it that way, right? By engaging their content, commenting on it, reposting it, sharing it, saying, hey, what Katie's doing is great.
Everyone
really
should be reposting that Katie is great.
That type of thing. Yeah, let's repost that immediately. Exactly. That's pretty funny. So what was the other question I was going to ask you? Because I think that, I think we're on a good track, right? You got to get a couple things clear. Not only how you're doing it, right, but also who you want to talk to and who you want to connect. I did notice something when I got into LinkedIn. So when did LinkedIn start? I don't know.
I have the
2000 and early 2000s,
2004.
like that. Yeah. So a friend of mine who's since passed away, actually, was like my mentor of networking, right? When I didn't know what networking was. He's like, you got to set up a LinkedIn profile. I'm like, what the hell's LinkedIn? Like, what? So I get on this thing probably for literally 5 or 6 years, do nothing with it. It was in the early days, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know what to do with it. And then I started realizing that, okay, if I'm working in a particular industry, like I'm working with medical professionals, right? When I link into that person, I then connect to their circle of people, which is the unique thing about LinkedIn versus other, platforms. And Facebook, you're just like following people and stuff like that. So it became a tool to connect with other people where I could say, Katie, I see that you're, connected with our friend Jonathan. Can we connect for whatever reason? And there's more to it than me just reaching out cold.
Well, one of the things.
Yeah. So that was.
And one of the things I love,
like, if you LinkedIn.
It always depends on your industry and what platform you enjoy spending the most time on. But because if you don't enjoy it, like, so for me, I'm not on TikTok. I said earlier, I'm not a short form video gal. Do I enjoy short form video when I have the time?
Right.
Yes. However, most of the time I'm got a 6 and a 9-year-old running around. And the second that they hear some noise, they're like, what are you watching? What are you doing, Mom? I'm like, nothing. Go away. So then I have to quick turn it off. Whereas if I just reading an article off of LinkedIn or scrolling through a carousel post, I can spend some more time on it. So for me, short form video is not my best form of consuming content. I enjoy consuming a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think that if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to see it through. Like I tell people, right. I mean, how many people ask you, I want to start a podcast. Well, if you're going to start a podcast, you better figure a way to do it where you're going to want to do this and create 50, 100, 200, we're up to 300 some odd episodes now. Because if not, then you're just like, we have 2 or 3 million podcasts in the world. Probably a lot of them are like 8 or 10 episodes and people just dropped off, like very early on, I realized I wasn't going to do a podcast where I would just get on and talk. Like, I don't have enough to say. I mean, could I do 10, 20 episodes? Sure. But then I'm going to be exhausted. So instead, I find great people like you, let you talk and tell the story. And then if I want to talk, I'll guest on someone else's podcast, and that's what's gotten me to 300 plus episodes. I realized that very early on. And I do enjoy podcasting. It's like the center of my marketing.
Yeah.
But if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Don't do it because you think it's going to bring you business. Do it because you enjoy being on that platform, or you won't. You'll fall off the wagon. You know.
Well, it's not. I don't think that social media
is that really for hobbyists,
it's the social media platform Pinterest. It's a search engine. Yeah.
Okay. Where people just kind of put boards together. I consider
like
they share
Pinterest and House and YouTube. Those are all search engines. They're not really social media.
Right. Well, isn't YouTube well, no, YouTube's not social media. It's just posting content.
It's owned by Google. So I mean, a lot of times if people were to search the accidental entrepreneur, Katie Brinkley, Google might feed out at the top of the list our YouTube episode, followed by the actual, you have a Podbean page for the podcast, and that might be number 2 on there. But they're going to try and refer people to stay on the Google-owned platform as long as possible. And
of course, yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, slowly starting to get followers on my YouTube channel, but it's not as much as the other ones. So, what's the best way for people to like connect with you, to learn about all the things you're doing wrong? Obviously, they can buy your book. We know that. Audio,
Kindle
too,
is coming, if not already out, depending on when people listen to this episode.
Got it.
Yeah,
Kindle's a weird thing. Like you post it and they got to wait for it to merge or something. I don't know. We did it with a book too. And how about what's your favorite place?
LinkedIn's the spot. LinkedIn or Instagram, but LinkedIn is one of my favorite platforms. That's the spot to find me. KatieBrinkley.com. If you want to get the book, KatieBrinkley.com/book.
Okay. I appreciate you coming on. Any final words or thoughts?
I think that's it. I think that I hope that I've given you your get out of jail free card of not posting so much and enjoying. Yeah. And just really kind of focusing on connecting with people on social media. That's what it was designed for, was connecting with one another, not just to consume. So go back to the old ways of what social media was intended for.
All right. Well, Katie, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. Early morning in Denver. And stick around. We'll go through the credits and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Accidental Entrepreneur. Opening and closing music written and performed by Howie Moskovich and made to order music. For information about Howie and his music services, please follow the link in our show notes. If you like the podcast, please tell others about us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and most of the other podcast directories. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review and feel free to share our episodes on social media. If you have any questions or comments, ideas for the show, or you'd even like to appear as a guest, reach out to us by email at info@beinackerlaw.com.
The Accidental Entrepreneur is hosted by Mitch Beinacker and produced by Beinacker Law. If you'd like to learn more about our business and legal services, you can find us on social media or visit our website at beinackerlaw.com. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to our feed to be notified of all future episodes.